Tony Beets, the man who turned the wild Klondike into a treasure trove, has just made a decision that's left his family heartbroken. Known as the King of the Klondike, Tony spent decades building his empire, but now everything is about to change. With just one step he is about to take, are you ready for the truth? Stay with us if you're a fan of Gold Rush or simply drawn to stories of grit, fortune, and complex family bonds. We'll explore Tony's unbelievable wealth, the shocking choice that threatens to tear his family apart, and the emotional legacy he's leaving behind. The King of the Klondike's jaw-dropping fortune. Tony Beets is a name that resonates across the Yukon. Known as the King of the Klondike and the Viking of the Yukon, Beets is a prominent figure in the gold mining industry. Beets isn't just any ordinary gold miner. His reputation stretches far beyond just digging for gold. It's about building an empire, making fearless decisions, and creating a legacy that spans decades. His estimated net worth is approximately $15 million, primarily derived from his extensive mining operations and his prominent role on the Discovery Channel's Gold Rush. But what happens when a man like Beets, who's turned dirt into gold and transformed his life from modest beginnings to unimaginable wealth, makes a shocking decision? What if the empire he's worked so hard to build, his fortune, his legacy, is left not to his family, but to someone else entirely? The whispers have been circulating for months, but now it's all out in the open. Tony Beets has given away all his money to his longtime mistress. It's a move that has stunned his family, fans, and even his closest allies. How could the man who built an empire from the ground up make such a shocking choice? Why would Tony, who's fought tooth and nail to carve out a legacy, turn his back on everything he's created? And what does this mean for the Beets family? Will they be left to pick up the pieces of a shattered empire? Or is there something more to this decision than meets the eye? To understand this shocking twist, we must first explore Tony's extraordinary journey. Tony's rise from humble beginnings. Born in the Netherlands, Tony grew up dreaming of a life beyond the ordinary. At just 18, he left everything behind and immigrated to Canada in search of riches. His dream was simple yet audacious, to strike it rich. Leaving behind everything he knew, Tony didn't just look for opportunities, he created them. His early days weren't filled with gold, though. He worked odd jobs, from milking cows to laboring in construction, trying to make ends meet. But as he settled into the harsh environment of the Yukon, Tony's dreams of becoming a gold miner began to take shape. In the mid-1980s, Tony bought his first claim, Paradise Hill, and that was the beginning of his mining empire. Tony didn't just stop at finding gold. He fixed large, old mining machines and changed how gold was mined in the Klondike. His clever ideas and hard work helped him become one of the richest men in the area. Over time, Tony made millions from gold claims and became a well-known figure to the world. Tony was a family man, married to Minnie for over 40 years. Their partnership was the foundation of his success. But beneath the surface, rumors swirled of a long-time affair with a woman whose identity remained shrouded in mystery. Insiders claim she wasn't just a fleeting relationship, but a significant presence in Tony's life, even influencing key business decisions. The drama escalated when reports emerged that Tony had signed over a substantial portion of wealth, some say nearly all of it, to this mysterious woman. Assets, cash, and investments were reportedly transferred, blindsiding Minnie and the Beets children. Heated family meetings and legal threats followed as the Beets clan grappled with this seismic shift in their inheritance. Speculation abounds. Was it guilt over a decades-long affair? A strategic move to shield assets from legal issues? Or perhaps a deep emotional connection with a mistress that outweighed even family ties? Some suggest a hidden agreement or leverage that forced Tony's hand. Others believe it was a romantic gesture, a bold, controversial act from a man unafraid to defy convention. The fallout. The aftermath of Tony's decision has been devastating. Minnie, known for her fierce loyalty and sharp tongue, reportedly demanded answers. The fallout has been dramatic. Minnie, known for her resilience and fiery personality, has reportedly demanded answers. Monica, Kevin, and Mike, once seen as heirs to the empire, now face an uncertain future. The public, too, has weighed in. Social media debates rage, with some defending Tony's right to choose and others condemning him for what they perceive as a betrayal of his family. Even longtime friends and colleagues have expressed shock. Was this the act of a man in love, or a calculated exit from an empire too heavy to bear? As the dust settles, one thing is clear: this isn't just about money. It's a story of choices, consequences, and the cost of living under the spotlight. Tony's decision to give everything to his mistress isn't just about betrayal or financial ruin. It's a story about power, control, and the price of living under the spotlight. Yet, while Tony was busy making his fortune, he was also shaping a legacy, one that wasn't always as easy to carry as the weight of gold. His fortune came with its own set of challenges. The very empire Tony built became a heavy burden for those closest to him, especially his family. His wife Minnie, a constant pillar of strength, was by his side through it all. But even she felt the strain of living up to the legacy Tony created. His children, Monica, Kevin, and Mike, struggled to carve their own identities in the shadow of his towering success. Sometimes their paths diverged from their father's legacy, and at other times they found themselves caught in the web of expectations that came with Tony's name. Legacy or curse? The question now arises, what happens when a fortune becomes bigger than the person who created it? Is it a blessing or a curse? Tony's rise to fame came not only from his incredible mining successes, but also from his appearance on Gold Rush. The show's producers were looking for larger-than-life personalities, and Tony was a perfect fit. His thick Dutch accent, his no-nonsense attitude, and his fearless approach to mining made him an unforgettable character. But as the cameras rolled, the Beets family became part of the story too. Minnie, Kevin, Monica, and Mike were suddenly thrust into the spotlight, exposing the inner workings of Tony's empire and the emotional complexities that came with it. Now, with Tony's shocking decision to relinquish his wealth, the family faces its greatest challenge yet. Will the Beets' legacy endure, or will this decision mark the end of an era? Tony Beets' story is about more than gold. It's about the relationships tested by wealth, the sacrifices made in pursuit of success, and the emotional weight of a legacy too massive to escape. And now, after building such an empire, Tony Beets has made a decision that has shocked everyone, one that will deeply affect not only his family, but the future of his entire legacy. Tony Beets' shocking decision. Beets has made some audacious moves throughout his career. One of the boldest was his decision to buy the Indian River property for $1 million in 2015. At the time, it was seen as a huge risk, but it paid off, as the property produced significant amounts of gold, solidifying Tony's reputation as a high-stakes gambler in the world of mining. Known for his bold choices that have shaped the mining world, Tony has now stunned those closest to him. After years of hard work in the brutal winters of the Yukon and amassing vast gold claims, he has decided to step away. This move has left his family in tears, with everyone, his fans, critics, and loved ones, asking, why now? To understand why Tony's decision is so surprising, we need to look at what he built. Tony didn't get rich by accident. He earned it through hard work, smart decisions, and a strong drive to succeed. His empire wasn't just about digging for gold, it was about changing how mining worked in the Klondike. He turned old dredges, huge machines used for mining, into gold-producing machines. This was Tony's way of doing what others couldn't or wouldn't do, and in the process, changing everything. But behind the massive success was an ongoing struggle that even Tony couldn't avoid. His decision to step away wasn't about a lack of ambition or desire. It was about something deeper. While his wealth brought recognition, it also placed enormous pressure on his family, his wife Minnie, who stood by him through it all, and his children, raised under the weight of his legacy. They all felt the effects of living in Tony Beets' shadow. The fortune he built wasn't just financial, it became a force that shaped their lives, choices, and futures. When Tony made the unexpected decision to step back from the gold mines, it sent shockwaves through his family. Was it a blessing or a curse? For years, they lived under the microscope of fame, and now they have to navigate their own path. Could they continue his work, or would they forge their own way, free from a legacy of gold? The decision brought emotional and practical challenges no one could have anticipated. It's a complex situation that questions what it means to inherit an empire. For Tony's children, the decision holds even more weight. With their father stepping back, they now face the question, do they carry the Beets name forward, or do they strike out on their own? This isn't just about business. It's about identity, family, and the emotional toll of living up to a monumental legacy. Tony Beets' shocking decision wasn't just about retirement, it was about freeing himself and his family from the weight of a life built on gold. As the Beets family navigates this new chapter, it's clear that Tony's legacy, though immense, isn't easy to carry. As they move forward, they'll have to find their way to balance the fortune, the family, and the future. An empire built on gold mining investments. Tony Beets was a visionary, someone who turned strategic investments into an empire. While his larger-than-life persona made him a household name on Gold Rush, it was his keen eye for opportunities that transformed him from a hard-working miner into one of the wealthiest and most influential gold magnates in the region. His secret? A combination of bold risks and savvy decisions that most others wouldn't dare to make. Take the old dredges, for example. While many people would see these rusty, outdated machines as useless, Tony saw their potential. He didn't just restore them for fun or as a hobby. Tony turned these old dredges into powerful tools for finding gold, helping him uncover